Hello everyone, this is eXish, and today we're going to get on the subject of faulty digital root. So faulty digital root is a module based off of a module that already exists called digital root. If you want to check out this module before you look at this one, I will leave a link to its Steam Workshop page in the description of this video. So, this module is essentially supposed to be a broken version of this original module. It was a mod idea made by Epic Toast, which was basically just a manual at the time, and I took it and decided to make it a real module. So, I'm here to help to explain what this module is, what's on it, and how you can solve it. We just kind of went over what it was, so let's go over what's on it. Well, the module itself has 4 different displays. One of them is clearly broken, it looks very messed up, and then the other 3 are pretty normal, and they all display one singular digit, while of course the broken one, which is clearly broken, is blinking in and out sometimes. It also has 2 buttons on it, which are green and red and say yes and no, as well as an LED strip below those, which is used to indicate inputs, which I will go over later. So, the module itself, if you try to solve it the same way you would with an original digital root, it will not work out the same way. So, if you have trouble distinguishing this module from the original somehow, you should easily be able to tell from the very weird looking number in the clearly broken display that it is a faulty digital root. But if you still can't tell, one other way to look at it is that the buttons are actually colored, and also that the background of the module is grayish white, and it isn't like the default background like the normal digital root module. So, first things first, we need to write down the information about the module. So I'm going to choose this one down here to work on. As we can see, the top 3 displays on the module say 2, 6, and 6. The broken one says 3. So the idea of the module is that we need to input a sequence of 4 button presses in order to solve it, which is much different from the original where you just had to press 1. So in order to do this, we need to get a binary number, and in order to do that, we need to do a digital root, which is something that the original has you do. However, the original module, you have to take the digital root of the sum of these top 3 numbers, and then check whether it's this number. If you do that and try to do it, you will realize, A, first of all, that you press it and then nothing happens because you need to input a 4 sequence of binary. But you you also will have done this entirely wrong because this is broken digit is used for something else now. So let's start with the broken digit then, because that's actually where we start. First of all, you have to take this digit and modulo it by 2. What this means is substituting this number into the first number as many times as you can before you can't go over it. So for example, if I had like 9 and 2, which is a much harder example, if you had 2 times 4, that would be 8, which is the highest you can go to getting to 9 without going over. And of course, that leaves a remainder of 1. That is modulo. So the modulo of that would be 1. So in this scenario, it's actually the same thing. You will also get 1. Now this isn't the same as in most other modules that use modulo, because this one you're going to get either a 1 or 0 guaranteed, right? Either no remainder or a remainder of 1. And if you do the module enough times, you will actually notice that if it is an even number, you will have a 0 output because, well, I mean, just look at it. 2 mod 2, 4 mod 2, 6 mod 2, right? But if it's odd, 1, 3, 5, you know? So basically you will end up getting, basically it depends on the parity of it, whether it's even or odd. But you can do mod 2 if you're more used to doing that. So of course we have 1 as our digit. What this means for us, well, there's two different kinds of digital routes that you can take on the module. The original just had you take a normal digital route, which is what it's called. The normal digital route I will explain in a second. However, and what it's technically called is an additive digital route. The one that we're about to do is called a multiplicative digital route. So you may have no idea what a digital route is, and I will go over that right now. A digital route is essentially where you have a set of numbers, let's just have like 753 for example, and you have to, well, if it's a set of numbers, you have to add them together and then do the digital root process. If it's just a number, then, for example, let's just do 753. If you want to take the digital root of 753, you have to add the components or the digits that make up the number until it is one singular digit, so in the range of 0 to 9. So, for example, here, if we just put plus signs in between, that is the digital root right there. So 7 plus 5 is 12, and then add on 3, that makes 15. However, it isn't a singular digit. You just have to keep doing it. So keep going, and boom, you get 6. So, and that's the digital root of 753. So that is what's considered a normal digital root, or the additive digital root. It's just the additive is never normally there. The multiplicative, which is the one that we're about to do, is the exact same thing, except it's a multiplication symbol instead of a plus. So let's, well, I don't want to do that. Let's look at this for a second. 7 times 5 is 35, and 35 times 3, well, if you can't do that in your head, you got this with you right here, your trusty calculator, which gives you 105, which actually I already know what this is then. 105. Okay, let's multiply those. Oh, wait a minute, we have a 0 in there. Bang. Most of the time when you do a multiplicative digital root, it will be 0. However, that isn't entirely true, but that is kind of the truth here. So we're about to do a multiplicative digital root with these top 3 digits. As it says in the manual here, if the number you got from the modulo is 0, take the additive digital root of the 3 numbers in the top. Well, we got 1, so we're not doing that. If the number is 1, take the multiplicative. There you go. So let's do this then. We come back up here to 2, 6, and 6. First thing we have to do is, well, multiply these numbers together. So 2 times 6 is 12, and 12 times 6 is 72. Multiply these together because it's still not a singular digit, you get 14. And, well, multiply those together and you get 4. Hey, it's one where we don't get a 0, isn't it? So, well, you did the digital root part. Congratulations. And that's the harder digital root to do, is the multiplicative one. The additive one probably makes sense now. It's probably not that hard. This one you could probably see where it gets a little more difficult. Now, here's the deal. I told you that you need to input a binary number into the yes and no buttons in order to defuse the module, a sequence of 4. Well, here you go right here. A table on the manual will help you with that. However, if you know how to convert base 10 to binary, this will be super easy for you. However, you must recognize that you have to input leading zeros. You can't just do one at a time, right? So that's where it gets interesting. So I know 4, as we can see here, is 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay. That means that's the answer we have to input. How do we do that, though, is probably the question you have. Well, the manual says that yes transmits a 1 and no transmits a 0. So essentially, the yes is 1, no is 0. If you input the 4-digit sequence of binary into the module like that, it should be solved if you do it correctly. If you do this process wrong at any point, it will not tell you until you input the entire 4-digit sequence. Then it will strike you if you're wrong and then reset everything. So you have to start everything over again. This LED here at the bottom, which I mentioned earlier, is simply just to let you know that you have already inputted something. So let's try our answer and see if it worked. 0, 1, 0, 0. And if you do it right, the broken screen will turn off for a second, GG will come through, it'll solve, and then you'll get a little smiley face in the broken. And of course, as you can see, after the first input, it actually changed to green. So that is how you do faulty digital root. I will do another one with you really quickly, and then I will solve the rest of these on the bomb at the speed that you should be able to solve them. And I'm going to try my best to do it without the manual because I'm trying to practice learning binary, at least for this module, so I can try to solo the module. However, multiplication is definitely something that's not super easy to do when you do a multiplicative digital root. So let's do another one. Let's do one with, let's do one with the additive to show off that scenario. So let's record down our digits again, 1, 4, and 9, and our broken number is 0. First, let's mod the broken number by 2. Well, it's 0, so how many times can 2 go into it? None, so 0. Basically, this is the remainder because no times, 0. Okay, yeah. So we got 0. That means we're doing an additive. So let's take our 3 numbers, add them together. 1, 4, 9. And that will end up making 14. Still not a singular digit, so add them. And we get 5. Okay, that means we have to input 5 in binary into the module. 5 is 0, 1, 0, 1, so no yes, no yes. Let's see if that's correct. Oh, well, first of all, may as well do this. 01, 01. No, yes, no, yes. And that was correct. So,
Yes.
that is how you do faulty digital root. So now what I'll do is I'll just try to solve the rest of these normally. And this should be the speed that you should be able to solve these modules at. So, let's take a look. Additive 6. Cool. So 6 would be if you got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. Mental math that.
Yes.
Oh god, multiplicative. Okay. Ooh. 35 times 1. Multiply again is 15. Multiply again is 5. Okay, so cool. Another multiplicative.
He had defeated the machine.
42 times 6. I have to multiply that out like this. 10. So that's 10. 20. Multiply is 0. Hey, and there you go.
He had defeated the
So
machine.
as you can see for the multiplicative one, I did have to use the calculator for that one, because the numbers can get decently out of range for you to be able to do consistently. But if you are really good at it, there you go. So that is how you do faulty digital root. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it wasn't, you can contact me directly and I will try my best to continue to help you in your endeavors with any of the modules that you have questions with. So my Discord will be in the description. You can check that out again if you want to contact me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.